Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. In the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. In life, we all experience this, right? But especially when you are overcoming and conquering health challenges, sickness, illness, and disease, you tend to experience this more often than not at times. Everybody's different, every situation is different, but for the majority of us, you'll have this experience and be able to share in what I'm talking to you about today. But we all go through this in life, right? Life will try to make you be um, someone you're not or dictate your identity. But people also will try to make you something you're not, try to dictate your future, dictate your present, dictate your identity. And you guys, it's really important that we don't allow anyone or anything to dictate our future, to tell us who we are, how we need to be, or to limit us in life. We do not want to be limited. Yes, overcoming and conquering health issues can cause you to be limited in areas at times, but it should not limit you, who you are. It may be able to limit, some of the things you may be able to partake in, have access to at times, but it should not limit you on the inside of who you are. And as long as you're not limited on the inside, any limitation you have on the outside can be overcome. It can be conquered. You may not be able to see how right now, and you may not be able to know how, but believe me, someone somewhere has conquered it, will conquer it, or there's some invention coming to help you to overcome it and conquer it. You just got to hang in there long enough. I've lived through a lot of things to know that to be a very true statement. But it gets irritating and it gets really frustrating because a lot of times you have to push this off, not only from loved ones, but from your doctors, from the television, from everything around you. People you know, people who are close to you, people you don't know that well, and people who aren't close to you will try to put limitations on you and tell you who you can be, who you can't be, what you can do and what you cannot do, just because you're going through and overcoming and conquering a health challenge. And we have got to stand up against that. And it's not an easy thing to do. And sometimes you'll be better at it in life, and sometimes you won't be as good at it in life. Or at least this is true for me and what I found. And I've also found that even while you're dealing with it, you have to keep your heart clean. You can't get mad and start hating people or having anger towards people, because this is a natural tendency in all people to do this, right? But we still have to stand and safeguard ourselves against it. But everywhere you go, you'll find it. Just because you're going through something, I know for me personally, you guys, if I listen to what they said that what I'm fighting is supposed to cause or what it's supposed to do, you guys, I wouldn't be here now. And if I am here now, it would not be in this state. It would be in a really bad state. I would either have already checked out of here or be in the process of checking out of here. It's not a good thing. The things that I was told that was supposed to happen or should happen, not good things, not that I want, but because I never believed it and I never received it and I never took on those limitations that what I'm going through says I can and cannot do, or the road that I should go down, because I never took it on, I didn't go down that road. I have done and am doing so many things that what I'm overcoming and what I'm challenging that is challenging me, and what I am overcoming says that I should not have been able to do or experience or have lived or overcome. And I have done it. I deal with doctors of every kind, of all types, right, on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly type basis at times, depending on the time in the season. And one of the most frustrating things is to hear, you can't do that, or you can't do this, or I do something, they'll come back and be like, oh, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, I already did it. Or to hear them say, to talk about something and be like, oh, but you can't do that because you're going through stuff. There are some things that you might not need to be able, might not need to do, or that you might not be able to do. But there's some things that people are trying to put on me, at least, and probably on you, that has nothing to do with what you're going through. If I'm able to get up and walk and move around, then why can't I walk to the park? Oh, you can't go to the park because you're going through that. No, I can go to the park. I have the physical ability to go to the park, but people act like you can't do anything because you're experiencing that. And sometimes it's valid things, and most times it's a lot of invalid things. Just because I have challenges, right, in certain areas that I'm overcoming, and I'm meeting my challenges and I'm overcoming, does not mean that I'm limited in life. So now I can't partake in the goodness of life. I can't be happy because there's a health issue. I can't laugh and be full of joy and crack jokes, because there's a health issue. It's amazing the things that I hear on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, from a lot of people that would try to box me in, and for me to be where I am, to be living the best life possible in the middle of what I'm going through, to be full of joy and have lots of love in my life, and to be accomplishing the things that I'm accomplishing. There's no way I could do all of that if I actually listen to the things that even doctors try to tell me that I can or cannot do. I was celebrating something, and I was writing something that should be safe, that seems safe, that doesn't really seem like there's any danger in it, but something happened that caused an injury, and I had to go and do some stuff to recover from that injury. So when I'm telling them, they want to know, well, what happened? I said, well, this is what happened, right? And they're like, but you have this health issue. You shouldn't be doing that. Just because you have a health issue don't mean you can't ride a bike or get in a car or sit in a rocking chair because it moves. Just because you are going through something doesn't mean that you're totally incapacitated or you're a complete invalid. And even if you don't have the activities of your arms and your limbs, and you lack the ability to move, you guys, I've been in places where I lack the ability to move, but you know what? It didn't mean that all of a sudden I can't partake in the goodness of life, that now I'm not able to do some things. And even when you're in those situations, you guys, where you might be limited, you might not be able to do some things, your mind should never be limited. I never limited in my mind. Just because I was in a situation where I might have been incapacitated at that time, I might not have had the full activities of my body the way that I would have liked to at that time. I never thought that that was my final state, that was my end. I always knew that, you know what, this is just a temporary thing that I'm going through, and I'm going to pass through this. And sometimes, you guys, it was years I was in some places still telling myself I'm coming out of this. But because I told myself I'm coming out of that, I'm coming out of that. So what is the moral of all of this? People in life will try to put you in your place, what they think should be your place, or what they think your position should be. They will put limitations on you that they may not put on their own selves, or their own family members, or their own kids. They may put limitations on you because they're limited themselves. Never allow somebody to put you in the place that they feel that you're supposed to be. You have to be strong in who you are, even though you're overcoming and you got big challenges you got to go through. You need to know who you are. You need to be who you are, and you need to do you. And I am here to tell you that things change. Things can change on a dime. Even if you're in a hard season and a rough season, and that season has been some years, things can change. You guys, there are testimonies of people. I have met people who have gone through things that were life-changing things in their lives, and 10, 20 years later, things got better for them. What they said could never happen has happened for them, and they're up doing things that they said that they wouldn't do. Never take on the mindset that somebody else is trying to give you. You know, this last time of trying to regain strength and learning how to walk, you know, they told me I would never be able to get it back. You know, they told me that I might as well go ahead and get one of those electrical scooters, you know, and that thing angered me. You know, I am too young to be riding around in some electrical scooter. I am not giving up on life because I went through something. You know, I am not going to just say, okay, old age come, take me. I'm just, you know, an invalid right now. You know what? I know people who are in their late 80s. I know people who are in their 90s that are young and spry and full of life, whose mind is sharp, and they are younger than a lot of 40, 50-year-old people I know. I know some old 40, 50-year-old people. You guys, age does not make you old. You know what makes you old? Your mentality makes you old. You determine and give in on life and decide to become old. I am not giving up and deciding to become old because somebody told me I need to go get me a electrical scooter and give up on walking and give up on being able to do stuff. You know, I jog. It's not pretty. It ain't pretty at all, and I probably can walk faster than what I can jog, but they told me I would never be able to do that. You know, I couldn't jump up, you guys, but I can get a little jump in. It ain't pretty, but I'm still working on it. But don't let anybody limit you. Don't let life limit you. Don't let what you're going through limit you. Don't let no doctors limit you. Don't let your health issue limit you. Never be limited. Know who you are. Hang on to the vision and the dream that you see as you. Be you in every situation, in all things. Do you and be you. I hope something in there was helpful for you. Until next time.